Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a great day today. My day was pretty interesting, which I'm going to share with you here in a little bit. But first, I want to address a question that I get a lot. And today, I got it because of the situation I was in my trades today. So I wanted to address it and kind of give you my take on it. Because I think it's very, very important that we understand, when we need to stop trading for the day or when we just need to stop trading and take a quick time out. Sometimes we just don't have our stuff. The strategy is there, the market is there, but we have trouble managing the trades. We may have trouble seeing the trades or getting in when we're supposed to, and we're taking, too many hits. We have to decide for ourselves, do we need to stop? Because we don't have a boss at this point. We don't have anybody sitting there telling us and observing us and saying, okay, hey, you just don't have it. You need to slow down. Let's take a break. Think about a pitcher who's, his stuff is just not there. He's throwing loose. He's trying to throw a breaking ball, and it's hanging. It's not really breaking. He's not locating his fastball right. And, the pitching coach comes out, and he tells him, hey, look, you're not really, your pitches aren't crisp. There's a disconnect somewhere. You need to just take a minute, calm down. You may be, wired up. Just calm down. And he goes back in, and then he starts pitching good. Or worst case scenario, goes back in there, and he's still having trouble. Walks a couple batters, gives up a home run, a couple base hits, and the coach is going to come out and say, hey, that's it for the day. You just don't have it. We gave it a shot, so we'll try it next time. But we, as independent day traders, we don't have that coach. We don't have that risk manager that the institutional traders have. When they get out of sorts, they get a tap on the shoulder and say, hey, you need to take a break. Or when they reach a max loss, hey, you need to stop for the day. We can't allow you to lose any more capital. We don't have that. We have to do that for ourselves. So, some of the reasons that we stop trading for the day or we take a break, is when we hit our max loss or we meet our daily goal, or we have consecutive losses, or we just have small winners. We're trading and we should be making more money, but we're just not, doing what we need to do. So we have to be in tune with ourselves. And the best way to do that, I found, is through reflection and journaling. Reflecting on the trade and journaling your trades, keeping track of the setups, what you did right, what you did wrong, what you felt during the trade, what did you see. All of these things really matter. And if you take the time and go through this, then you're going to know when you need to stop. You're going to know when you need to take a time out, take a breather, catch a breath. And you're going to know when you just don't have it and things just aren't right. You don't feel right. And you need to take the day off. That is something that we are responsible for. Because we don't have that person. Again, we don't have that person there to call time out. When a basketball team is starting to lose that momentum, the coach sees that his players are really tired and they just needed to take a breather and get back focused. That's what timeouts are for. The players may not call timeout because they're not thinking that. They're not feeling it. But the coach is seeing it. You know, but for us, we gotta get in touch with ourselves. So if you have a max loss and you reach it, yeah, you probably want to stop trading. Now, I don't really have a max loss at this point. I mean, I did back in the day. And every new trader or trader that's learning, that's coming up, you need a max loss. You need to be able to protect yourself and protect your capital. You know, if you have a $3,000 account, there's no reason for you to take a $1,000 drawdown. Doesn't make sense. And then continue to trade. Because what happens, you can start getting into that revenge trading mode. And you start taking trades that's not there, that you think you see that's not there, and you lose more money. You know, that's one of the reasons why you have to stop. When you feel yourself losing control, stop. If you're in the market and it's boring and you just want to do something, find something else to do outside of the market. Don't just get in trades and decide that, you know, you're just going to take it because there's nothing else to do. No, you do not want to do that. When you start feeling that, when you identify with that, stop trading. Walk away. When you come back, if you still feel that way, take the rest of the day off. You know, but you have to manage that. Also, now, I don't believe in daily goals because that would force you to monitor your P&L, and I just do not believe in monitoring your P&L throughout the day. Because, you know, what if you are $15 away from your daily goal? You're going to think, hey, I just need to get a $25, $30 trade. I'll just make my daily goal and that's it. That rarely works out in your favor. You typically end up losing more money, and then you start to take trades and see things that aren't there. You lose more money. You may get a little revenge trading in. It just goes away from you. You know, setting up consecutive losses can work too. If you lose 3 trades in a row, then you know you're not right today. Take the rest of the morning off and come back in the afternoon. And if you haven't reached your max loss, you know, take a trade. Cut everything off and focus on your trade. You know, see if you can bring it around. But the only person that knows when you really need to stop for the day is you. And the only way you can figure that is to get in touch with yourself. Understand your emotional states. You know, how do you feel when this happens? How do you feel when that happens? You know, what's going to determine when it's time for you to, you know, shut it down? You know, these are things you're going to have to identify. And it works. You know, I have the reflection template that I use. I kind of adapted it from teaching, and it combines everything. You know, you're reflecting on the trade, the outcome of the trade, but you're also thinking about the emotions. You know, what were you thinking? What were you feeling in the trade? Why? So that when the circumstance comes around again, you'll know how to respond to it. You know, you'll know, hey, I don't need to put myself in this position anymore because it may not end well. It may cause me to end my day. You know, and if you're taking smaller wins, if your wins are just a couple of dollars and the trade's working out, but you're not able to stay in it, you just don't have your mojo that day, then you know you need just stop, take it off. I know it's frustrating because you may only have today to trade or 2 days to trade, and you want to force stuff, but it's never a good thing. So if you haven't really gotten to the point where you are documenting not only your trades, but your thoughts, your feelings during the trade, that's something that you really want to get into, because you're the only person that's going to be supervising you. So you need to know yourself. You need to know when it's time to stop. So let's take a look at a trade from today. SJM, this is the one that I had a meltdown on. You can see we put in the opening range right here. This is the opening range low. I got in anticipating the break. I got the break. My first target was right here at 96, which is a pre-market low. It came within a couple of cents. It was very quick, and it shot back up. Did not give me any time to cover. And this thing continued to push up. And it flew up. And I could have gotten out right in here. I could have taken it off, but I didn't. I let it run all the way up, and then I clicked the button. And what did it do? It turned around and pulled back down to where I could have stopped out with, less of a loss. But you can see I ended up losing altogether on this thing, $386. First trade out of the gate. Wasn't even 5 minutes. Okay. It was crazy. So I had to stop. I felt it. I felt myself coming unglued. I had to stop. I got in my car and drove to Dunkin' Donuts. It's about 5 minutes away, right on the other side of the highway. And, I go in there, I sit down with just me and my laptop, and I'm going to figure out what the hell's going on. What happened. And I know the people thought I was crazy. I was talking to myself, talking through this whole deal, and wanted to right the ship. So, in the haste and in the emotion of right after the trade, we're going to say things. A lot of times I say, I'm done. I'm just done for the day. I can't deal with this. And that's what I'm feeling at the moment. That's the emotion that's coming out of me. But when I stop and I think about what happened and I refocus and I realized, what I did wrong. I didn't put in my stop. And it's funny because last night I was just talking to another trader in our mentor sessions, and we were talking about putting in hard stops when you're unable to respect your hard stop or your max loss. You have to put in a hard stop. And I didn't do that. And in this case, I did not respect my max loss stop. I was expecting it to test this and then come back. I was not expecting it to blow off the top. And that's what it did. But, I had to come in and reassess it. I looked at this and I'm like, you know what? I still would have got in down here. Even if I got in a little bit early, I would have gotten in anyway down here, and I would have gotten stopped out. So it wasn't that the trade didn't work. My issue was with my stop and me not stopping out and not doing what I needed to do. So no, I didn't quit the rest of the day, as you can see, but I should have, because I had a killer day on OKTA, made almost $750 on it, but because I had a $400 loss here, it killed me. I only made $228. Now I know, commissions are high. I've got a lot of tickets here on how I traded, but this is how I look at it. I take 386.44. I have 4 trades. That's about $25. So just over $400. Add $400 to 228. That would be 628.14. I would have had just right at $100 in commissions, which would have been ideal. So I would have made $600 and some dollars versus only 228. But I had this meltdown. But what I did was key, and it's the key to my success, and it could be the key to your success. I stopped. I took a timeout. I assessed the trade. I realized what I did wrong, and my mind was clear, and I was able to re-engage. My number one priority is trading. This is what I have to do to make my money. So if my trading gets off here and I'm not able to trade in my main account because I'm off here and my mind's bad, I'm not going to make any money. And my family's not going to be very happy. But that was the SJM trade. OKTA was pretty much right on point. Just ideal. I got in under, here's the opening range low, but by then I wasn't really looking at that. I was looking at the sell-off here under VWAP, under the moving averages. I honestly thought we could get here to the 100 period right here, and that's where we were going to bounce, because this is where I've been seeing these stocks bounce right off the 100. It might have slipped down to the 200, but it wouldn't have been there for long, and we'd be coming back. And that's what I was looking for. I just wanted a nice, solid trade. Didn't matter what I made on it. Didn't care. Just wanted a nice, solid trade to make sure that my mindset was back right. So, we got the move here, and then I got in under the 200. I wasn't going to short into the 200. I waited till we got under it. And, of course, my daily accident, I was trying to put in my stop, and it's, once I moved, it changed from stop back to market. And so when I clicked buy, it just marketed me out. So I had to turn around and get back in. And it did make my target. But when we started to recover, I went ahead and took it off. And I don't know why or what I thought I saw, but I got in here. And once I got in, the stock pushed up, closed back above, red to green. But then we started to sell back off. It didn't really get to my target, didn't quite get to it. But as we started to come back, I sensed that we were, maybe changing direction. So I just took half of it off. And then when it confirmed we were changing, I took the rest of it off. I didn't wait for it to go back up and stop me out. That, to me, that wouldn't make sense. I'd just be losing profit. So I'm going to take it. And, this was good. So I got back in on this rejection. Got a solid move down. And I clicked it. I wasn't going to wait to see if it hit the 20. I was going to be smart this time. So I got some. We kind of traded sideways for a while. So I went ahead and took some off here at the 20-day. And we just traded sideways again. And once we started to recover, I took some off. We closed above the 9 and then confirmed it. So I killed it. Usually the 9 is my trailing stop. And I killed it. But as soon as I killed it, this thing started to work. And again, I wasn't going to short into into support. So once we got through the 20-day, I shorted it and was able to take some profit here. And then toward the end of the day, we started recovering. But, solid trading. Yeah, I had a couple of extra tickets in here, right in here. But this is how I traded it. I maximized the efficiency. And really, it was YY yesterday, missing that big move at the end of the day, is what kept me engaged in this stock. I didn't want to make the same mistake twice. So this was, really an ideal trade. And I ended the day on a high note. Even though we only made 228.14, I put on the bottom line. The trading was solid, and I was pretty impressed with how I was able to come back and not force anything, only take the setups as they happen, and I feel I managed it, pretty good. So that was my trade on OKTA. Nothing else I could say. This was a tale of 2 days. Not really 2 days. The tale of 2 hours. 2 different hours. So pretty pleased going forward. And we'll see if we can have a good, strong Friday and really knock this out of the park. So you guys take it easy. Have a great night, a great evening. And I will see you guys first thing in the morning.